As with any long-running hobby like turkey jerking, extreme ironing, and midget bowling, video games have attracted some weird people.
I'll jerk your turkey around as much as you like.
The crazy growth of the industry over the last 2 decades has brought the hobby into the mainstream, and with increased popularity comes hordes of degenerates as unwashed as my dirty, dirty butthole. I haven't had a voice crack like that since I hit puberty at the age of 4. In this video, I want to shine a UV light on some of gaming's most bodily fluid-soaked and embarrassing fandoms. Unfortunately, the Venn diagram of people who play video games at a high enough level to compete on a professional scale, and those who have a total lack of self-awareness is nearly a solid circle. That description fits a number of gaming-related communities. Which brings me to Smash Bros. I don't know what it is about the Smash Bros series, but it attracts some of the most fascinating people into its slimy folds. Maybe it's because it has several playable Pokemon that a lot of people want to fuck. Not Gardevoir, Lopunny, or the most submissive and breedable one.
It would be very wet, and it's large enough for human dick.
You're capping.
Pokemon like Pikachu for those who like to put gerbils up their ass, or Incineroar if you want to melt your dick off.
My mama always told me, don't go down the same alley you just got raped.
Boss.
One of the most prevalent and well-documented issues with the Smash community is personal hygiene. The community itself likes to poke fun at this aspect as well. If mom can't drive you to the tournament, then nobody's around to remind you to shower. And let's be honest, Dad's not in the picture. There are posts and stories going back over a decade of top competitors and new players alike pointing out the awful stench in tournament rooms. The issue became so widespread that some tournament organizers and venues had to put a rule on the books that players must practice basic personal hygiene, and excessively smelly players were at risk of a disqualification. Some organizers would give out deodorant to players if they felt the need. There's this video by Glink where he goes around handing out free sticks at EVO, and to their credit, the attendees take the joke in stride.
He's not a Smash player.
You're calling me a homo.
The other thing about the Smash community is their patience is as low as their testosterone levels. When they're not busy hurling crabs at each other, they're hurling their own controller at the nearest innocent floor tile. I've been going down a rabbit hole lately of salty Smash player compilations on the YouTube. There is hours and hours of footage of pathetic man-children destroying their controllers, damaging the venue, and screaming like babies when they lose. It's a good thing that there are dedicated third-party manufacturers of GameCube controllers, because these people spike the shit out of these things as hard as when their mom dropped them when they were a baby, leaving their opponent to sit there awkwardly and try to pretend that what they're witnessing isn't the most pathetic thing in the world. Smash community is also world famous for its copious amount of sex crimes, with dozens of prominent figures within the community being accused of several different misdeeds. It's like a much more stinky Diddy party in there. No wonder Nintendo doesn't want anything to do with the competitive Smash scene. For some reason, Sonic the Hedgehog attracts the most obsessive, deviant sex pest that the baby Jesus allowed to have an internet connection. The expansion of the internet through the 90s and 2000s ensured that people with shared interests would eventually find each other, further evidence that maybe the internet was a mistake. Sonic fans got together and started sharing some things that were innocent enough in the beginning, some fan art and stuff. It slowly progressed from there to fan fiction of Sonic making love to a doorknob and piles of the most depraved fan art that is God looking down upon us and abandoning mankind with tears in his eyes.
Huma huma nuku nuku wapa wa'a. Makiniki malhini hu. Huma huma nuku nuku wapa wa'a. Ooh. Hawana waka 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 niki poop poop.
This is a double-edged sword. The existence of Sonic is also responsible for some of the internet's touchstone memes and personalities. We got Sonic.exe and its writer's meltdown, which some people are still discovering to this day. Sammy Classic Sonic Fan has some of the funniest and most referenced quotes on all of YouTube.
What will you learn? What will you learn? That your actions have consequences!
Guptail89 ruined his reputation with his hottest female Sonic characters video. Then there's the ultimate final boss of lolcows, Chris Chan, who blessed the world with his magnum dong, Sonichu.
I am straight. I am straight.
The same community that loves to come together in a giant circle jerk is also torn apart by the most asinine things. If a new game is announced and Sonic is slightly taller than usual, they fight over it. If his quills are a different shape or length, time for fighting. The entire community nearly exploded when character designs for Sonic Boom were revealed and Sonic had some tape on him. As awful as the fandom can be, I wouldn't really have it any other way.
I don't care what lies ahead. No time for guessing, follow my man instead.
The amount of timeless memes and brain-smoothing content provided by them helped make the internet what it is today. I don't know what it is about Sonic the Hedgehog, his games, or character designs, but for some reason this one video game character is the center of one of the longest running and most embarrassing fandoms in not just gaming, but pop culture as a whole. There's no other community in gaming that eats as much wiener as the Pokemon fandom. There's a big salad right in front of them. It looks great and it has all the salad stuff. The only problem is there's a giant dick right in the middle. They'll eat the dick and leave the rest of the salad alone. Pokemon fans have proven for many years now that they'll buy pretty much anything. They'll even buy multiple of the same bad thing, all the while complaining about how much they hate not only Pokemon, but each other. Game Freak continues to put out salads comprised mainly of big juicy dick, and Pokemon fans see how low the quality of the recent games are, and cry out in pain as they as they pull out their credit card and buy 6 copies at full price. Pokemon fans acknowledge the low quality of newer Pokemon titles, but continue to give Game Freak and Nintendo billions of dollars per year. That fact alone is enough to tickle my pickle, but that's not all. You can't have an opinion and friends as a Pokemon fan. If you say you like the older games, you're a Gen 1er and everyone hates you. If you say you like the recent games, you're a Game Freak shill and everyone hates you. Just know, everyone hates you always. It wouldn't be a fandom based on a children's video game without some degeneracy. Pokemon fans really like to ship Ash Ketchum with other characters. Ship, as in imagine him in a romantic relationship. They go on about how awesome it would be if Ash was fucking Professor Oak while he eats his prune cookies, then gives his mom a rim job without even kissing her first. There are thousands of Smash or Pass tier lists based on Pokemon, though a lot of these are mostly meant to be funny. Some of them are serious, but they're all going to hell regardless. Rule 34 has a massive suppository of NSFW Pokemon fan art. I'm not going to judge, I like anime girl thighs. But can someone explain what you're supposed to do with this? This thing will rip your dick off and throw it in the tall grass. The Call of Duty community has rightly earned its reputation as being one of the worst in gaming, and most of it is hilarious. There's a reason the joke about people not surviving the old COD multiplayer lobbies has persisted for so long.
You guys fucking learn how to actually play the fucking game and talk.
Shoot a gun, dog. Learn how to fucking shoot a gun.
Fucking riot shield. What else do you want me to fucking
Oh, riot shield. I'm a pussy. I use riot
You're
shield.
just mad because I'll be able to do something with my fucking guitar in hand, so you'll never be able to see your entire life, kid. But yeah, you're gay.
Call of Duty multiplayer has long been a desolate wasteland for dude bros and 7-year-olds with potty mouths to come together and challenge each other to fights in real life. Most people wouldn't behave this way if they were face to face with the person whose mom they intend to butt fuck, but the esports scene is different. Maybe it's because they are all hopped up on Mountain Dew and amphetamines, but these guys can't help but scream at their opponents with absolutely zero self-awareness. Some of these guys end up getting kicked off their team because their conduct during a match is so embarrassing. COD players are also oddly fond of swatting. If you don't know, swatting is a sometimes fatal internet prank where someone calls the police on another person and pretends there's a crisis, serious enough to involve several heavily armed beefy boys. In 2017, a man named Casey Viner threatened to swat another player. The other player gave him someone else's address. This person turned out to be completely uninvolved and was fatally shot because of it. All of this over a $1.50 wager match. If you went that far over $1.50, I have no idea how you could afford the game itself. The recent years' crackdown on toxicity and general removal of fun have made the Call of Duty scene less prone to such behavior, as well as people's tendency to avoid voice chat altogether or party up with their friends. But there's a reason Call of Duty immediately pops into people's heads when the topic of worst gaming communities comes up. It takes a special kind of person to do the exact same sequence over and over for thousands of hours, the same end goal in mind. Some people do just that for a living, but speedrunners don't do it for money, they do it for the love of the game. In case you don't know, speedrunning is the act of completing a video game as fast as possible, competing with other people doing the same thing, and comparing the best times. Some of the stuff that comes out of the speedrun community is the stuff of legend.
Confirmed Santa's #1 helper is a squirrel. I would really prefer if you would be quiet.
This guy's a pedophile, by the way. There's a yearly fundraising live stream event called Awesome Games Done Quick, or AGDQ, where hundreds of speedrunners leave their home for the first time and play their game to raise money for charity. This is a pretty cool way to use these incredibly niche skills to benefit other people. Problem is getting the most socially inept autists all together in one place for several days, and the entire thing is documented on video 24/7. The result is a treasure trove of nearly never-ending cringe compilations that even the most stoic, desensitized cringe connoisseur would struggle with.
None of you guys are funny. If you want to prevent cancer, consider standing out in front of the shuttle that's running in front of the hotel on the hour.
It takes a very particular kind of special to focus on such a singular goal, and grind it out for easily hundreds of hours, maybe even thousands of hours depending on the game. The result is every single gamer stereotype from the 80s onward brought to life for all of us to watch like we're visiting the zoo. War Thunder is keeping half of YouTube creators alive through sponsorships. and is also a video game. Besides the usual online insults like mom jokes and racial slurs, players somehow have a tendency to leak classified military documents on the game's forums, which is hilarious. A lot of the player base has military backgrounds, and sometimes get into internet beef concerning in-game vehicle performance or specs. Obviously, the most logical step when faced with an internet argument is to back up your claims by committing crime. This hasn't happened once or twice. It's happened over a dozen times. If there's a disagreement over something as asinine as the number of bolts on some tank's particular panel, someone will post the entire blueprint on the thing on a Hungarian video game developer's website. There's even a Twitter account that keeps track of the days between classified leaks. We're currently at 117 days at the time of writing. Cross your fingers, we get another one soon. Roblox is the world's biggest microtransaction simulator. The game has 150 million daily active users and makes enough money a day to build a giant robot to push California into the sea. The player base is primarily kids, and kids do stupid shit all the time. But it's not the player base as a whole that's the problem. It's a specific subset that is here specifically for children. If you've had pretty much any gaming news hit your feed in the last year, then you're probably aware that Roblox has a big pedo problem. Not just big in number, but they're big people. Like they're large. There are hundreds of stories floating around about Roblox predators stalking the game's thousands of popular experiences like it's Gotham City or Detroit.
Take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit!
The number of reported cases is even worse when you consider the small amount of arrests that occur when they get caught. It somehow gets even worse when you realize that the company behind Roblox, Evil Children's Block Game Incorporated, are actively defending the pedos. A ban wave to get rid of all the predators would result in a player count drop, which doesn't look good to investors. So they've decided leaving small baby children at risk of getting groomed is an acceptable trade-off. Our main protagonist, YouTuber Schlepp, took it upon himself to find and expose these freaks since Roblox itself doesn't seem to care, and managed to gather enough evidence on some of these people for police to take action. In typical cartoon villain fashion, Roblox banned him and all of his accounts, and put out a statement discouraging vigilantism. The CEO then went ahead and shared his vision of turning Roblox into a dating app, which makes the entire situation seem like a real-life South Park episode. That is my list of the most embarrassing video game fandoms. If you happen to fall in any of these groups, please like and subscribe.